Welcome to the show, guys and gals. Doing something a little different tonight. We are live. Got Adrien Koleric on here with me, create famous independent creator. Just got a little bit of everything. He's recently done some work on a anthology for Jeff Schiller, Public Defender. That's on Kickstarter right now. Um, Anything you want to plug real quick, Adrian, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this? What we're going
Yeah,
to be doing tonight?
yeah. So I'm on. I'm kind of involved in two Kickstarters right now. One for Jeff Schiller for the Public Defender. I know he's halfway funded for the Public Defender, and I think it runs. I think he's got another 20 days on it. And so look up the Public Defender by Jeff Schiller, and then Elliot Strada, Hellforged issue number 4. It's funded. Actually, he funded it, I think like in day one. So he's got a few weeks left in it, and so I did a variant cover for that one. So hit up Hellforged issue 4 Kickstarter, and then grab my variant cover.
There you go.
Yeah.
Didn't you start a store too? You want to plug your store where they can go in and
Oh yeah. So I got all my stuff up in my online shop, 3presscomics .ca. So it's the number 3presscomics.ca, and then all my books, my Trakovi series is on there. My last book, The Sitter, and just a smattering of some other stuff. Clothes
yeah,
too, apparel too, like shirts. Like I got like the Trakovi Mad Men homage shirt. So
I've got to get on there and get some stuff, man. I love what you're doing and what you're putting in your shop.
yeah, and it's
Big
so
fan.
easy, man. Honestly, it's so easy, right? So if you got a shop going, like I just use the third party system, right? I use
Yeah,
Printful, right? We got in Canada. I think there's in the States too. There's a Printful, and it's great, man. It's just like they got like I mean everything, right? I mean I did like an embroidered toque for the sitter, and I don't have to worry about anything, right? You just got to make sure I got enough for shipping and enough markup, and basically I don't have to handle anything really. So they do everything for you.
that's awesome. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to check into that for sure. I
Yeah.
tell you, the website, it's nice to have, but I mean, so far I haven't really seen where I take that back. It's paid for itself, but it hasn't brought in the revenue I thought it would. But it's nice to have. But yeah, I'm definitely going to look into these shops, cut that expense out possibly.
Yeah, I've had my shop like for a long time. I'm still through Big Cartel. I think I've had that thing for like 10 years now. And it's good. It's handy, like I have my main website, which is basically it's an artist website, and stuff that goes back like, oh my God, almost 20 years. And but I find I don't know, I find most of my traffic is really just through social media, right? Through Instagram, you know, um, Blue Sky. I'm starting to kind of pick up a bit more. But yeah, the website, I don't know. It doesn't really. It's there, but I don't know really who uses it. So
Right, right.
yeah,
Well, guys, we promised you our thoughts on the galaxy far, far away. Me and Adrian have been wanting to do this show for quite some time. He was a guest on Comics and Sweet Tea a good while back promoting a book. And we just happened to dive off into Star Wars, and we realized really quick that we need to do a whole show about this because we both got some very strong feelings about Star Wars. Uh, Pre Disney, post Disney, and
yeah.
and and I was like, yeah, we have got to get back together and do a show about this. So, where do you want to start, Adrian? Where?
Well, I guess I should put a disclaimer out there first, right? It's like, you don't expect me to like name drop any deep cuts, right? Like, that's the thing. It's like I've been a Star Wars fan since like I'm old enough. I saw Episode 4 in the theater.
Right.
So I was like I think 3 years old, right? So, um, but yeah, it's funny. I never really got into like the whole extreme fandom, right? I have a friend of mine, his name's Dan Worms, and he's an artist here in Edmonton. And Dan's like, Dan's like a scholar in terms of Star Warsology. And so whenever like a new show comes on or whatever, I always kind of like, shoot him a message. What do you think? Like, what do you think about this? Right. If there's discourse about a particular show, right. I'll be like, hey, what do you think? Right. So like when the Acolyte came out, and everyone's like, I don't know, getting upset about the Acolyte for some reason, I would just shoot Dan a line. Dan's like, yeah, thing's great. I love it. I'm like, I love it too, right? So it's like, it's just those kind of conversations too, right? It's like, I
Yeah,
never, like, I don't know. I guess maybe we could start with that, I guess, like with the hatred, I guess, with everything that's kind of coming out the last little bit. It's like, I don't get it, I guess because, as a Star Wars fan, it's like, I'll take whatever you got, right? It's just like,
exactly. I
throw it
mean,
at me, it's like,
yeah,
like these guys are always nitpicking stuff and all that. I'm thinking if like, and I always like think back if Return of the Jedi came out today with the social media landscape, they would George Lucas would get absolutely terrorized for having teddy bears running around in the forest. You know what I
they would
mean?
get death
Like,
threats. He'd get
he
death
would get
threats.
death threats over Ewoks. I
Yeah,
guarantee it. Don't tell me otherwise. Do not tell me otherwise, right? So that was like, so everything after that is absolute gravy. Like, I mean, we survived the Ewoks, we survived Jar Jar, we made it to the other side, right?
yeah,
So when you got a show like The Acolyte, when you kind of start diving into like, like old Star Wars,
right.
it's really interesting. You know what I mean? Like I was at the point where it's like, I was looking forward to a season two, because at the end you see, Darth Plagueis in the background. So it's like,
Right.
well, I
Right.
want to I want to know his story now. You know what I mean? Because, you know, like I don't know. It's just like there was just so many opportunities, but I don't know what it is. Like there was low viewership apparently, and of course, online discourse for I don't know for some reason, but
Oh man, it tore the fandom in half. I mean, you got people that love it, and
mhm.
you got people that are just oh, I mean, they're ready to grab the pitchforks and torches and storm Lucasfilm, and burn it to burn Disney to the ground.
Well, it seems like every time something comes out now, it's like, well, fire Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah,
She's like,
he's
I'm using
only
a
one of the best producers that's ever been in the business. But yeah, let's
I
fire her.
I got no problem with it, but she's like, it's funny. It's like, so up in Canada, we have a whole movement against our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, right? It's this whole whatever, right? Like there are people that actually developed a culture around their hatred toward our Prime Minister, where they got flags and they do marches and things like that, right? And I always compare this Kathleen Kennedy thing to this, to compare to our Prime Minister discourse. It's like every time something comes up, we got to let these guys, kind of like stomp around a bit, and Kathleen Kennedy should be fired and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, really? Like, I mean, is it that bad? I don't know. What do you want? Like, what do you want? Like, I would like to say, what do you want? What will
Right,
make you happy, right?
man. I tell you, here's where I am with it. I mean, just like you said, I can remember, you know, the end of Return of the Jedi, and
Mhm.
that was it. That was the end of the story as far as we knew. There was no talk of
Yeah.
prequels. And I mean, we were in the desert as far as content for years. And then we finally got the books. Um, let's see, the oh God, why am I hate getting old. The Thrawn trilogy. The Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got those in what was it, 90, 92, 93, somewhere in there, and it
Oh,
it
yeah.
kind of picked up the stories, and I mean, Star Wars was back. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, it wasn't on the screen, but we were getting the further adventures,
Mhm.
and getting to be with our characters again, and then the prequels come out, and I, I was kind of you know, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you just had all this head canon built up. I think we were our own worst enemies. You had all these expectations, and
Mhm.
and Lucas, yeah, he did a cool thing. Yeah, the prequels. they are what they are, whether you like them or hate them. I've come around on them, except for Clone Wars. It has its moments
Yeah,
that make it redeemable, but there's just so much bad there too. But
yeah.
I've really come back around on Revenge of the Sith.
I
I've really gotten a new appreciation
Oh,
for that
it's
one.
like, yeah, like whenever someone asks me, like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, Revenge of the Sith. Like, and actually, it's funny enough, I got it playing right now in the background here. Just so I thought, kind of get in the mood. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's my favorite. But it's funny. I remember when the prequels came out, and by the time we're kind of like getting into Revenge of the Sith, man, the discourse was really heavy. It's like, gotta get Lucas out of here. He's like ruining it, his own product. You know what I mean? He's past due as a director, and all that.
yeah,
And people wanted him out, right? Because he said he was, destroying the whatever, right? And yeah, I mean, there was like some really bad stuff, like in Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. I've really kind of circled back to that too, because I still find that Attack of the Clones still has like some of the most like gorgeous battle scenes.
it does.
It
It
really
does.
does. There's some really, really nice technical stuff in there. Um, and I just find too, it's like with the prequels, I think it took going through the sequels to make me realize that the story in the prequels was way superior. Like he actually like
Oh yeah,
he
he had
was
it
he was
planned out.
world
Yeah, the
he was
story.
world building, right? Like he was
Yeah,
building like a new whatever. And where I find like the sequel is really just like rehashing kind of like
yeah,
old stuff, right? Except for the Last Jedi. I find like Ryan Johnson was actually trying something different, and of course
right.
try something different, right? They hate you for it, right? go
Hmm.
back go back to what the usual stuff is. They hate you, right? So there's just no
Yeah,
there's no
you
pleasing
can't
anyone.
win. You can't
you
win.
you can't win, so you just got to stick to your guns and just knock this stuff out, right? So it's like when you do a comic, right? I mean, it's like
Right.
I
You
can't
got to
think
do it
about
for you.
yeah, I can't think about these guys, with like, 26 digits after their name, right? Online, right? It's like you don't like move on. I don't care anymore. It's fine, right? But yeah, no, I find like I love the prequels now. And it's so funny for me to say that now because I was like really like just not a fan when they
Right.
first came out.
Yeah. Okay. What about the series? What had? Let's start with the first one, the Mandalorian. What did you think about the Mandalorian?
Boy was I excited,
Yeah.
and I think within the first like 10 minutes, I mean, like when he opens up in the cantina and he as soon as he uttered that line, oh god, was something like you're coming in, oh, you're coming in alive, you're coming in cold or something like that. It was
Yeah.
I can't remember the
Yeah.
exact line. I'm like,
I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but I
yeah,
was like, "We're
you
back.
remember
Star
it was
Wars
just
is
like
back."
I was like, oh my god, right? It was
Yeah.
just like holy cow. And it's like it got me. It got me and I stuck with it. And then even like when Bill Burr shows up, right? I'm
Yeah.
like,
That didn't really take me out of it.
that was
A lot
probably
of
one of
people.
yeah, I
That
think that
was
was
one of
probably
my favorite episodes.
mine too. Like he was so good. Like I loved it. It was like for a moment I thought he was gonna throw a little Boston accent in there, like kind of
Yeah.
get that whatever. But man, he was so calm and collected, and that was the first time I ever seen him in a dramatic setting. And
Right.
my God, man, it's just
He
yeah,
he
no,
delivered. He delivered. It was really good.
yeah, so I loved it. I love the whole, when they first when you first see Grogu without knowing his name yet, right? So and then everybody assumed it was Yoda or something like Baby Yoda or whatever. And
Yeah.
so like that whole progression and just the relationship building between uh you know between the Mandalorian and Grogu. I just love that, that father and son kind of
Oh yeah.
whatever. So I
And
loved it. I'm a little. It's funny though. Now, having said that, I'm a little leery though about the movie. You
yeah.
know, it's like,
Yeah.
do we need a movie?
Well, I mean, here's what I've heard. And you know how you get into the rumors. Iger he was brought back to kind of build the brands back up at Disney, and one of the main things he started looking at some of the projects they had laid out for Disney Plus.
Hmm.
And Moana 2 was just released, here just a couple months ago at the theaters. that was originally supposed to be broken up over episodes and be a Disney Plus show. And I was
Oh,
like, what are we doing? This is a $1 billion IP for us.
yeah,
Why
yeah,
why are we doing a series? Let's hey, make it a movie. And they
yeah,
made it a movie. And this thing's almost cleared $1 billion at the box office. So he knew what he was talking about.
yeah, yeah.
And another he was brought back to build Star Wars back up too. And we haven't had a movie since what? Uh 18 or 19 when the last Jedi come out. I mean, it's been a while.
Oh, the rise of Skywalker, was that the last
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing came after that, did it?
No, that's
Yeah.
been 18 or 19. So we're going on 5, 6 years.
When did Solo come out?
Oh God.
Was it? Was
It
it?
come out the same year, I believe, as no, it come out right after The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi come out in December, and I want to say Solo come out the following spring.
Mm, yeah, that was too bad, man. That one had series written all over it. That should have been
Oh
that
yeah, that would be an awesome
could have
series.
been a series. Then they could have
Yeah,
continued on second season, with Han, Chewie, and Lando. It
right.
was all set up. They could have done the whole Crimson Dawn storyline, and this
That
is
was really cool. A
yeah,
lot of people shit on Solo. I loved Solo. I
Solo's
mean,
great, man.
it was new stuff.
How do
That's
you shit on that, right? As a Star Wars fan, it's like,
yeah.
they gave you the first meeting between Han and Chewie. How do you not like that? Like, that's
Exactly. Plus, I loved Woody Harrelson's character. He was kind of mentored Han. I mean, I loved it. It was good stuff. And a
yeah.
young Lando. I mean,
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
he
perfect
killed it.
casting,
He killed
everything
it,
about
man.
it. I love too how the Falcon was just so pristine. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It was just like even the closet with all like the capes, and it was great. And I was really disappointed when they canceled the Lando series. It was all lined up, and I was really hoping that we would get the actor who played Han, Aldrich Henrik.
ah,
Is that his name?
oh, Aldrin
Aldrin. Yeah, it's
something.
Aldrin.
Oh God,
We're old. It
can't
doesn't
think
matter.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Um,
That
but
guy,
yeah, but
that played Han.
I was hoping like he would kind of show up and all that, and that's the thing too. It's like sometimes Star Wars fans don't realize it's like we do come around and embrace things, right? Like we did come around and embrace the the prequels. So I'm sure we can come around
Right.
and embrace we can embrace Solo. I'm sure, and then down the road, I'm sure people are going to reminisce about the Acolyte and saying, oh wow, we really should have had season 2, and
Yeah, that was
I
the
mean.
best opportunity. Yeah.
Andor's getting season 2, and, I liked Andor a lot, but I don't
Oh, it was so good. It
yeah,
was
it's
so good.
a lot of
It's deep cuts, man. I love what Tony Gilroy is doing with that show because I mean he's not even a Star Wars fan. That's why it kind of makes me nervous whenever they say, "Oh, we got this new guy to do it. He's a Star Wars fan." Gilroy, he's not a fan, and he's making some of the best Star Wars that we've ever had
yeah, sometimes
because he's finding the right people that know the stuff and bringing them in, and he's just making a good story.
and it's supposed to, like, from what I heard, it's like, it's gonna just right away at the end of season 2 go right away into Rogue One. That's
Right.
kind of my
It
understanding.
leads up to the opening scene from
Yeah.
what I've read.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, 'cause I remember, like, the end of Rogue One when it, like I remember being in the theater, right? I'm like, and just when you come to the realization that, oh my God, it's leading into A New Hope, and you're like, oh my God, like I don't understand, I
Yeah.
just said, oh my God, right? And then, so yeah, I mean, I just love that stuff. So again, too, I just
Okay.
how can you be mad at this, right? And I think so too. It's like there's so many, um, options disposable at people's, whatever, that they can like make fan stories, make a fan comic, make a fan movie, make something, right? If you're not happy with what you're seeing story wise, make something up, right? I mean, there's some really good fan fiction out there, right? I mean,
There really is. There
yeah,
really is.
so contribute to it, I mean, that's, it's at your disposal. So
Exactly. And I tell you, I don't know. Have you watched Skeleton Crew?
Yes, for us, I think you guys get the finale tonight.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we get ours tomorrow. So
I'm telling you, I have loved this show. This has been a breath of fresh air in the Star Wars.
I agree. I love the fact that we're getting the suburbs in
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the
It's
Star
something
Wars
totally
universe.
different,
But I
totally
love.
new.
How far did you make it? Did you finish the series?
I haven't watched the finale yet. I'll watch
Okay,
it
okay, yeah,
tonight.
yeah, I'm with you too.
Yeah.
I love the whole, and my wife got into it too, and she's not really a big Star Wars fan, but this one got her right. But I love the whole, I love the whole story behind Adden. You know how it's just this hidden world. You know
Right.
what I mean?
That
And
was really cool.
oh man, and it's like funny. It's like I really want to know more about it. You know, so I don't know. Like I think Skeleton Crew has a lower viewership than the
The
Acolyte.
end of it. Yeah.
So,
This
I
has
mean,
had
yeah, I think it's the lowest, yeah, right? Which is too bad because, man, there's a lot that you can really
there's so
dive
much
into,
there. Yeah.
you know? But I'm really right now, I know we only got one episode left of this. We'll probably never see it again, but I'm so curious to find out what is with Jude Law's character. I want to know this, like,
What are your
obviously,
thoughts? What
I
do you
don't know.
think?
Well, obviously he's force sensitive, right?
Right. You think
But
he's a former Padawan? It would time out right that he could have
maybe.
been around during Order 66.
Could
And
have been a dropout or so yeah,
exactly.
okay, hold on a sec before we get into that. Where does
Skeleton Crew
which
fits into the same time frame as The Mandalorian, which is basically, I think, 5 to 8 years after Return of the Jedi.
uh so technically he could have been a survivor of Order 66. Yeah,
Exactly.
that actually works out time-wise. Like
Right.
he would be that'd
He
be
would have been
great.
a youngling, a
Yeah.
possible youngling, or maybe a young Padawan, or something like that.
See, that'd be rad. I'd be down with that. Tie that shit in there, right? So I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have like a theory on him. I'm just curious now. It's just I just want to know, right? Um,
Exactly.
and then also too, and then one theory we had is so they've on Adam the last episode they mentioned the supervisor.
Yeah.
Okay,
What are your theories on that?
okay. My wife actually thinks that it is that pirate that they keep talking about.
I
That
do too.
yeah,
I do
okay, all
too.
right. And I was like, yeah, okay, that totally makes sense. So I'm really curious now as to what that is, because maybe he just I don't know, like, but
And
then it's
see,
like,
one thing that really kind of it tips their hand towards that is when they find the old hologram, the video or whatever, and
yeah,
you can't see his face. It's
yeah,
like they don't want to tip you off. And I feel like he's going to be the supervisor at the end of this thing, and he's been running the planet for however many years because he's
yeah.
obviously an alien, and we don't know how old this guy can be. I mean, look, we've got beings like Yoda that can live 900 years for crying
Oh
out
God,
loud.
age is like
Yeah,
really, it's like it's a non-starter, right? So I'm really curious now. It's like, yeah, so I kind of buy that whole who that is, but now I'm curious is like, if that is the case, and if they do a reveal of the supervisor, is there going to be like a known actor? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I'm really curious
Who,
now.
who did the voice? I didn't even pay attention to that in the
I
credits.
didn't even, you know what? I didn't even look because I don't want any spoilers or anything.
Right,
I
right.
just want to go in there and just be surprised. But yeah, man, this show's been like, well, you actually said it. You said it's gonna be like Goonies and Star Wars,
Yeah,
right?
Goonies
And
in space,
and
and
that's
that's what it's
exactly
been.
what it is. So
Yeah.
it's just fun, man. It's funny. It's like because I'm always like leery with Disney and kids, right?
Hmm.
It's sometimes like, "Oh god, really?" But this one actually worked. I mean, the kids are great in it. They're not annoying.
No,
You know
they're perfect. This was, I don't know. I think John Watts, isn't he the showrunner on this? That's the same one that did the latest three Star Wars, not Star Wars. I got Star Wars on the brain, but Spider-Man films. And
Oh, okay.
Tom Holland. He was
Yeah.
the director and wrote all three of those films. He's the one that's the showrunner. I want to say he directed uh maybe the first episode. It might have been the second. I
Okay.
think he's going to be directing the episode tonight.
Okay.
And him and I can't think of his writing partner, but they co-created this together and wrote the whole thing. And I mean, it's phenomenal what they've done.
And Bryce Dallas Howard, she directed one episode too. I think it was like
Yes,
five. I think 4 or
they
5.
need to
But
give that woman a movie for
they
crying
got
out
to give her
loud.
something. She's earned it. Yeah, she's earned
She
it. 'Cause I
has.
know.
She's done some of the best episodes in this Ahsoka,
Yeah, Mandalorian.
Mandalorian,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she gets better everything she does gets better than the last.
I agree. If they announce like I don't. Well, so what? Okay, so in terms of thematic releases though, because I know there was talk of like, I know originally Ryan Johnson was supposed to be doing like a trilogy, but I think
I
that
think
got
that's
scrapped, and
gone, man.
then Taiki Waititi was supposed to get.
That's
Uh,
gone.
Holy shit, we dodged a bullet so bad there.
Oh
Like
god.
oh my lord, my
The
lord.
one that I do regret that I wish we'd have got the guys that did Game of Thrones. They hired them to come
Yeah,
in and develop, and they were going to do in the Knights of the Old Republic,
yeah.
and creative differences. That seems to be the same old song and dance. You
I'd
know,
like to see him go old though, right? Like I don't want to go
yeah.
forward anymore. I want to go
Well,
way back now,
James
right?
Mangold, the one that did Logan and Ford versus Ferrari, they've got him coming in.
Okay.
Uh, he's going to be doing the founding of the Jedi, the first Jedi.
Yeah, okay. I did see that. And then
That's
also
kind of getting
too,
fast tracked now.
well, and also too, I guess they announced like a new animated series that's going to be coming out.
Really?
So I saw that a couple days ago. So that's out there too. I don't know what exactly it is or what. So that'd be cool. I'm looking forward to that. But
I loved Visions. Man, what they did
yeah,
was just
right? Yeah,
incredible. Letting creators just kind of go wild with it, you know?
and the good thing about Visions too, it's kind of nice because you got all these different creators and different
Right.
styles and
Taking their
storytellers.
own
It'd be interesting,
little,
like,
you know,
as like producers of that show or whatever, you can kind of see like which ones get like the biggest reaction. You know what I mean? And then, maybe like so and so, their episode was like the most popular, and they had whatever, and then maybe then shoulder tap them to do something a little bit, bit further, right? I don't
right,
know.
right.
Open it up to fans, right? That'd be kind of interesting, like a whole, like embrace that, right? Because like Lucas was always cool with like fan art. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
like he was
yeah,
so open about that, right? So I could see,
definitely.
yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be actually really exciting because there's a lot of good writers out there and guys that have
You
this.
know, this is what kind of irks me. You know, I mean, we were talking about Kathleen Kennedy, and she keeps saying, "Well, we don't have anything. We don't have source material."
I
You
saw that
got
too. It's like, oh my
you got
lord.
30 fucking years of Legends books, man, and some really good books that you could adapt.
Oh my god, there's so many comics out there.
There's so much.
There's just so much, right? So I don't, yeah, that was an odd one. I was like, oh man. So I could see how that could
Yeah,
ruffle the feathers, right? Um, but same time though, it's like, um, like with the MCU, I'm kind of getting sort of like my excitement isn't there anymore for the
right, right.
MCU. Like, like I know with Captain America, 4 coming out, I thought today, I'm like, I wonder if I'm just gonna wait till it hits Disney. You
Yeah.
know, am I gonna go to the
Tell you,
theater?
I'm not really even. I mean, yeah, it kind of interests me a little bit, but not where it would have been, say, 5 years ago. You know,
No, and I find right now, like, I like, yeah,
I'm
you know,
more excited for Thunderbolts.
you
I
know
really
what?
am.
Yeah, Thunderbolts. That's the one I'm excited for. Fantastic Four. I don't know. Sure,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
just like
It's been done. I mean,
it,
this will be the third shot at this. You
I
know,
fourth actually, the fourth because there
you're
was
right. You're
that
right.
early '90s. Yeah,
Yep.
which is funny. that early '90s one. So I remember like somebody it got posted on YouTube like last year or whatever, and I watched it. I'm like, man, this is a really good Doctor Doom. They did
Yeah.
a really good job with Doom, and of course,
I haven't watched it, but I've heard that from multiple
yeah,
people.
really surprised. Like the rest of it's like it is what it is, right? It's just
Right.
a B movie. But it's funny, it's like the B movie has like not been, you know, topped when it comes to Victor Von Doom. And then
Right.
when they announced Robert Downey as Victor Von Doom, I was just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of the same way. I was like, why? You know,
It's like there's a
there's
lot of
so
good guys
many
with
good actors out there. My
it.
God,
Yeah, I don't understand. It's like it's just this fear of just giving us a proper Doctor Doom, right?
who
And
would you have picked?
I don't know.
Who
It's
would you have picked?
who would I picked?
Yeah,
I would pick Mads Mikkelsen.
100%.
100%, man.
100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Are you
After
kidding me?
Hannibal, I mean, come on, man.
Oh, fuck.
That's a no-brainer.
I was watching oh god, one of those Fantastic Beasts movies were on the
Yeah.
other day, and I kind of watched it, right? And I'm watching Mads Mikkelsen. I'm like, my god, this is Victor Von Doom.
Yeah.
Like, it's
He's
just like
got the accent. He's got it all, man. It was
he's
right there.
tall, age,
Yeah.
everything, and like no one's gonna care that that he was in Doctor Strange, right? I mean,
No.
that we don't doesn't matter, right? I mean, like God, Josh Brolin played Cable and Thanos, right?
Mhm.
Right. So I mean, it's like my God, like if it was Matt Mickelson like taking off that mask, people would have lost their minds, I think.
Oh God, yeah.
Right? Because now it's like now there's like people are putting out little like fake script openings for Doomsday. It's this whole thing with
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
takes off his mask and Tom
And
Holland,
hey,
Mr.
I I
Stark.
I tell you, I honestly believe Disney. Kevin Feige's doing that too. You know he's having fake scripts wrote up. I mean, he's done it before. He done it with Endgame. Just
Oh
kind of
yeah,
throw people off.
yeah. It's funny though. It's like I find though that I don't know. I find that they're just a rudderless ship right now.
Yeah.
I think when Jonathan Majors, when he got into legal trouble, and then they squashed the whole Kang dynasty.
Plus, it didn't hit like they thought it would, man. It
No,
didn't hit. They
but it's
thought Ant-Man. He was introduced in Ant-Man and Quantum Mania or
yeah.
whatever, and they thought that was going to hit a lot bigger than it did, and it wound up it
Uh,
kind of nosedived.
well, Quantumania was a terrible movie.
It
I mean,
was.
it
It was
really
piss
was. But
poor.
but when they introduced like Jonathan Majors in the finale of Loki, the season whatever, I was intrigued.
Yeah,
But man, they
I
just
liked that.
yeah.
I'm better the Loki series, both seasons.
Yeah, no, that was great, but it's fine. It's like every version of Kang gets defeated. Like they all
Yeah,
get defeated, right? And it's just like I don't know. It's like where are you going with this? And then they're talking about
right.
how they announced Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars or whatever, but apparently they don't have a script yet.
Right.
And so I'm starting to think to what James Gunn was saying. How if the script's not done and approved and whatever, they don't greenlight a movie. And I'm finding now it's like I'm so interested in DC right now with what they're doing. And
Yes,
I
yes.
find like
I'm stoked for Superman.
and they're doing it right, what I mean? Like they're taking their time, I love like Peacemaker and
Yeah,
then Creature Commandos. I haven't seen the last episode of Creature Commandos yet. I'm gonna watch it after this. Even Blue Beetle, it's just a slow burn, right? And
right.
then I think and then
I just watched Blue Beetle, and I love that movie.
it
That
was a
was
fun
really good.
it was great. I loved it. No, it's good. And they're
The
keeping
family dynamic was incredible, man.
yeah, and then they're and Gunn said that that's part of the DCU going
Yeah,
forward. So that's
yeah,
nice. So it's not a castaway. And then mixing in with with the animated as well, right? Obviously Suicide Squad or the Suicide Squad. I love how they're keeping Viola Davis
yeah.
as Amanda Waller. I love because
Perfect, perfect
she's
casting.
yeah, she's like the Nick Fury for me
Yeah,
for the DCU. So it's funny how he's just sort of like slowly going about his business. And the nice thing too is like he's just introducing just the oddest of characters. Like I've
but
never
you
heard of
know
these.
he would. You knew he would. I mean, look what he
Yeah,
done. He come into Marvel and he introduced us to Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, me and you as huge comic nerds, we knew who the Guardians were, but everyday people didn't have a clue. What is this Groot? And what is, they didn't know. And
yeah.
now it's a household name.
No, I know, and so he's doing that with whatever with DC,
Yeah,
and it's like, I mean, like the polka dot man. I love the polka dot man. And it's like,
yeah,
and it's funny now. It's like I'm kind of sort of getting into DC comics, right? So I picked up a 4-issue series called The Weird,
right.
by Jim Starlin, and I'm reading it, right? And I love this book, and I'm thinking like, man, Gunn's gonna bring this character in here. You know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
like my daughter, like her favorite DC character, one of her favorite characters is called Snowflame,
Stuff.
and
Okay.
Snowflame Snowflame is a character that he's powered by cocaine. So he's got like big
Oh,
black
wow.
eyes, and and so she's got his first appearance. Like we got two copies of it. He was in Teen Titans,
Oh, wow.
and so we're both convinced that Gunn is going to drop this guy at
Oh,
some
yeah.
point. You know what I
You know,
mean?
it'll
Like,
probably be in Peacemaker season 2.
oh, I love Peacemaker. I love that he brought in, Vigilante as well, right?
Oh,
You know what I
God,
mean?
yeah.
It's just like,
And the
oh,
guy he got to play him is perfect.
and the costume is perfect, and
Perfect.
everything about it is perfect. So I love how he's not afraid to put these costumes out there.
Right.
And it's like when we
What'd you
saw,
think when you finally seen Guy Gardner in the teaser trailer?
you know what? I'm like fine with it, but somebody did a little edit and they made his bowl cut
Made it an
higher.
actual
I was like,
bowl, and it looks
oh,
so much better. Yeah.
way better, man. It's like it's funny. It's like just a little bit off the top, right, or whatever. But
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Skin the trim.
It'd be kind of cool if they go back there, just like
Yeah.
CGI that,
And
whatever. It'd
fix
be
it. Yeah,
perfect.
they could do it.
So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And yeah, so like it's funny 'cause like I'm not a DC guy growing up. I was a Marvel guy, right? A big
Same
Daredevil
here.
guy, Daredevil, Spider One, right? Those are kind of my one and two. And then, but I'm as I'm older now, like I'm kind of going more into DC. And I'm just like
Right.
appreciating the obscureness of it, And like so, Guy Gardner, he's in this the Weird series as well. And I get his voice right away, and I just love his whole mannerism. And
Right.
it's like I used to like Hal Jordan, but I think I'm Guy Gardner guy. I think I kind of prefer this character. There's a little bit more to him, and
Yeah, snarky, he's an asshole,
he's an ass. Yeah,
he's got those hard edges,
yeah.
But
And
it's more
so
real.
I don't know, man. It's just like, man, I really think DC's just got the upper hand right now because they're just not afraid to just dive into their catalog. And
Not only that, but man, their casting. Oh my god. Nicholas Holt is Lex Luthor.
are we
The
finally gonna get a
casting,
good Lex Luthor? Is
I
this gonna
think
be it?
so. I
Yeah.
think so, man. And I'm excited for the Green Lantern series on Max. From
Oh
everything it's
my
supposed to
God.
be like True Detective, that
I love Kyle Chandler. Like
yes, yeah.
oh my God,
That's
like,
perfect casting. Is
what
how
was
doing. That's perfect.
what's his line in Friday Night Lights? Full Hearts. Oh shit.
Oh God. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh man,
But it's perfect.
I love him. Like I loved him in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
And I love his acting too because there are times where it's like when Kyle Chandler he sort of like when he kind of pauses for a minute, he
Yeah.
kind of choose something like really whatever,
Mhm.
right? He's
Right.
kind of building up to something. So I think he's
Yeah.
great. I love too that it's an older guy who's playing Hal. And then John Stewart is the actor who was in that recent Netflix
Rebel
movie.
Ridge, man. Rebel
I
Ridge.
watched it. Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
He was great. I can't remember his name.
He had such a presence too. I mean, that's there you go again.
Yeah.
Perfect casting.
So this is gonna be a fun series. If it is a true detective type vibe, I'm all for it. So but this is great, man. I love how it's not just movies. You know what I mean? It's just all these whatever. I mean, like Marvel's doing that too, right? With What If and all the series and
Right.
that too. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Just This is good. You know what? Honestly, as a comic book guy, both sides are great. The more the merrier for me. You know what I mean? Like even like some of
Right.
the even the Sony garbage, right? I mean, I was kind of enjoying it a bit too, right? Like just give it
It's
to me.
Morbin time. Yeah.
Maybe it'll. Oh my god! So we saw. We went to go see Venom 3 in the theater, and my god, did you see it yet?
Which one?
Venom 3.
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Oh, it was like
Was
10
it
minutes in, 10 minutes
bad?
in. Yeah, 10 minutes in, I'm like, oh boy, oh no. And it's just like, cause I'm still like, I kind of like Venom 1. It was fun. Venom 2 was just an
I love
absolute,
Venom 1. Yeah.
yeah,
2,
I
yeah.
don't know, man. Carnage deserved better. Um, I just find, I don't know. I guess because like I was around when like Venom first came out,
Yeah.
and he was this this stalker type character. He was hiding in the
Right.
shadows, like coming up behind Mary Jane, right? You know what I mean? And he's just whatever. Where this is like basically it's Tom Hardy being a clown for 3 movies,
Mhm.
and it's just like oh god, I'm like I don't know.
They
So I
it was a missed opportunity. They took a swing, and I hated how they it kinda reminded you of the '90s heroes movies, the few that they did. That's
yeah.
what it's kinda like, you know?
It was, yeah, and I find too, it's I don't know what it is with like with Venom. It's like when they shoehorned him in, like the Topher Grace version, they
That was
shoehorned him in
terrible. Yeah,
Spider-Man 3. Like it was just supposed to be a Sandman Spider-Man,
right.
movie, right? And they threw Venom in for some reason, and
Yeah, Sony pushed that. Raimi didn't wanna do it.
no, and so the guy who was leading the Marvel Sony stuff, I guess he quit or whatever. He left like the other day. So I mean, but I guess that they're done with that the Spider Verse, right? From
They
what I
say they are, well, from what I've read, they're pressing pause, so who knows?
well, I mean, they're still gonna go ahead with another, Into the Spider Verse movie, right? So they got the next
Yeah.
one, the third one coming up, and then
I
after that,
love
who knows?
those. That's some of the best Spider-Man we've gotten, I think.
There,
The
yeah, no,
animated movies.
I totally agree. My only beef is like the portrayal of Spider Woman, just because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm a Jessica Drew fan,
Right.
and I've just been like waiting for a proper Jessica Drew, apart from the '70s cartoon, which is like
Yeah.
whatever. But it's just like God, can you just give her to me? Like just give her to me. Like you know what I mean? Like just
Right.
stop it. Like stop it. Stop. Just
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyway, I'm just hoping that I'm gonna get a proper Jessica Drew at some point, but
It's
I don't know.
coming. It's coming.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, how how people would get upset over how characters are portrayed and stuff like that. And I never really kind of gave too much stick about it, but this one kind of just really got me. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. Yeah. So, because there are only so many characters that I really, you know, um, dedicated to. Like I love Captain Marvel, and I thought Brie Larson was perfect. It was a perfect casting. I love her
Right.
look, her everything about it was great. I love the Marvels. I love Captain Marvel. It's just like I don't care, right? I just do, and so that I was happy with. Um, but yeah, man, they did Jessica dirty. I don't know.
They did. They
Yeah,
did.
it's too bad, but well, hey, I thought it's a Star Wars show. I was like,
Yeah,
it's
we
like.
got now we're gonna have to do a Marvel show.
Oh my God, we're gonna start talking about gardening tips now for the spring
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
up.
do a gardening show.
Talk
Yeah,
about bulbs. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I promised I wouldn't keep you too long, but hey, it's been way too long. We need to do this sooner, man. Not wait 6, 8 months. We need to
Yeah,
get together
I
and
know.
chat again.
Like I got
I've thoroughly enjoyed this.
well, we should wait for because your Kickstarter is gonna get funded and the books are gonna come out, and so I backed it as well. So maybe we should
I
like talk.
appreciate that too,
You know
brother.
what? When your books are out and I read it, we should maybe like let's get together, talk about your book.
We'll do it. We'll do it, bud.
Okay, I'd love to do
We
that,
will
right?
do
So
it.
yeah, I can start doing more of that, right? I've been kind of like sort of off the grid for podcasts, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm trying
Me
to.
too. I mean, I had even taken a break from this show. I took
Oh
like a little over a month off. I had
yeah.
so much going on with work and the holidays. I was like, fuck it.
Oh,
I
I
need
know.
some
Like
time.
trying to like I'm trying to get back on my book, right, which I'm trying to get done this year, but then I keep taking little side projects, right, like
Yeah.
like 4 pages for Jeff, like that took up all of December, and then a couple of covers here and there, which I love doing. I'm always
Dude, I
whenever.
love the sketch covers. I'm gonna have to hit you up and get
Oh
commissioned sketch
yeah, yeah,
cover. I love your sketch covers.
that was fun to do. It was fun to do. I mean, yeah, it was good. Yeah, if you want, yeah, just hit me up anytime. I'll show you what I got for blanks. But that was fun.
Definitely.
So yeah, but like I said, I need to get back. I did get back on my book this week, and I need to get in a mindset and then kind of get
Right.
that.
You
You
gotta get
know,
dialed in. Everybody thinks, oh, it's so easy. No, no, it's not. It, it's
no,
it's a constant battle. It's a constant struggle
when
with
you're
time
doing
and
everything.
balance and everything. Yeah,
Yeah, like you're the same as me,
yeah,
right? You write,
everything.
draw, letter, all that. It's like
All in it. Yeah,
it's a lot, man. And that was the nice thing about doing those pages for Jeff is like because the script was done, I didn't have
right,
to worry. So that was nice. So I just focus on doing the artwork and the lettering, and then out the door. But this one, it's like my script is done. I'm drawing it, but I'm like making edits to the script while I'm drawing it. You know what I
right.
mean?
I
So it's
did the
kind of
same. Yeah, I
yeah,
basically I'll get my main plot
yeah.
and I'll go with that, and then I'll fill in the blanks as I go. You know.
I'm like that too. It's my wife has asked me like, my writing process, and I'm like, well, I have a beginning scene, I have an end scene, and I have one scene that I really like.
Right.
And then that one scene I really like, I'm not sure where it's gonna go, but then I kind of start filling in like, the in between stuff.
Exactly.
And that's how it is, right? And yeah, a lot of times the script's not done, I'm just kind of
Right.
sort of, whatever, filling it in, and I'm letting the characters tell me what the story is, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get it. I feel like we very have a very similar process. The Marvel method is what they call it, I guess,
Yeah.
but it really works best for me. You know,
Yeah. And I try
because
to tell
I'm a
people like,
visual guy, and once I start putting this thing down, all these ideas start rushing in. You know how it gets.
oh God, I'll be in the shower. I'm like,
Yeah,
like,
it'll hit you just out of nowhere, and oh, I got to get this down, and then that leads to something else, and it just grows from there. It's
I
a
know.
very
Yeah.
organic process.
Like I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll like, I'll think of a scene, but then it'll play live action in my head. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like in a movie, I got
Yep.
like the music going and all that too, and
It's
and then
crazy.
you're just trying to like transfer it onto onto a piece of paper, right? So
And
that's
my
that's
wife, I'll get that look on my face, and my wife's like, "What are you thinking?" About? Oh, nothing.
well, like I would come up with a scene, and then I would tell my wife the scene, and she's like, "Oh, you're not, are you?"
Yeah.
It's just like I got this one scene in my new book where one of the characters, his name's Johnny Yen. He goes on about he had a relationship with Judy Dench, the old English
Yeah,
actress, right?
yeah.
How they hooked up in an Arby's washroom kind of thing, and the whole whatever. And then how then he says something. He goes, yeah, I got a tattoo of her on my you know on my junk. And they're like, what? He's like, yeah. And so he's like, I'll show you, right? So he gets that. And then so I actually got a close up of a member with Judy Dench on
Yeah.
it, right?
Oh, wow.
Veiny and stuff like that. And my wife's my wife's like,
That's
Jesus,
incredible.
what is wrong with you? And she's like, you can. I'm like, well, I can, and I'm going
Oh,
to,
yeah,
right?
you can. You definitely can.
So
That's what's so
anyway,
awesome about indie, you know?
but the thing of the is though, it's like, because I've told, a couple of buddies about this scene. It's like they're looking forward to this. They want to see
Oh, God, yeah.
how is this gonna look, right? So it's funny, like when you throw out something bizarre like this, it creates a little bit of interest, you
Right.
know. Mind you, all it does is just, it just makes my readership just a bunch of degenerates, right? But right? But that's what it's all about, right? I just,
Yeah,
I'm at the point
like,
now where it's like I'm writing for my
you
buddies.
exactly. You're doing this story for you and your buddies. That's,
That
you know.
that's exactly it now. I've like, I got lucky enough to have something published through Scout, which is great, but I think I've kind of exhausted any desire to go through a publisher.
Right.
I don't know what it is. It's just like I don't know. I just kind of like this whole indie thing. Make your book, go to shows,
Yeah.
and that's it.
And
And then
hey, the readership will find you. That's
yeah,
kind
I
of where
mean,
I've been the whole time.
I can make money back on well, there's no money because it's just me, it's just my time, but I can go on
Yeah,
Kickstarter and at least like pay for the printing and shipping, and that's it.
right.
And I might have a couple bucks for a six pack, right? You know what I,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? I can celebrate after, right? Like that's really all it.
Exactly.
And I'm at the point now where it's like, because I mean, like I'm turning 50 in like a couple of months here, right? So I'm just like, well, maybe I don't know. I think my only like long-term goal is to maybe do a variant cover for like Marvel or something, like
Yeah.
the D cover, the E cover, right? The ones that
Huh.
nobody buys, right? Maybe one day. But that's about it. That's really that's my mountaintop at this
There
point.
you go. There
Yeah.
you go. I love it, man. I love it. We have got to do this again soon. Be sure and visit Adrian's shop. Get on there, get all his books. I'm telling you guys, follow him on Instagram. I'm gonna have links down here in the description. Once I get through with this thing, I'm gonna put his links up. Go and support Adrian all you can, guys. He does awesome work. He's got awesome comics, and hey, get a sketch cover. I I'm behind. I want one. Y'all need one. Support this man.
Thank you. I'll
Anyway,
take it. I'll take it. Yes. I'm here.
it was a load of fun, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. This is
Hey,
cool. Yeah.
it was awesome. I enjoyed it, brother. Hey, take it easy. You guys have a blessed one. That's the show, you guys.